Move along, black trash. You don't belong here. The words landed like shards of glass, loud enough for the shoppers near the oranges to freeze mid-step. Detective Rex Sterling stood tall in his Lakeside County blues, chest puffed, eyes narrowed on the black man in front of the produce section. The man's frame was broad, his stance deliberate. He wasn't fumbling with groceries. He wasn't pretending to shop. He just stood there, still patient, unbothered. That calmness was gasoline on Sterling's fire. "You deaf or just slow?" Sterling pressed, boots slamming the linoleum as he closed in. "I said move. Unless you're planning on stealing that kale, in which case, by all means, stick around." The man's head lifted, eyes locking with his. No flinch, no guilt, no fear, just a steady, infuriating gaze. When he spoke, his voice was a calm baritone that carried authority Sterling didn't recognize. "Neither. I'm exactly where I need to be." That answer was a slap. Sterling leaned closer, his voice rising so the whole store could hear. "Yeah? No cart, no food, just standing there casing the place. What's the angle? Grab and run? Pocket a steak on the way out? Or are you waiting for backup? One of your little friends?" The man slid his phone into his pocket, movements slow, deliberate. His words were steady, measured, and delivered with surgical precision. "My name is Silas Reed. I'm with the DEA. You're obstructing a federal operation." The laughter burst from Sterling before he could stop it, sharp and ugly. "The DEA? You expect me to buy that? You think flashing a fake badge will scare me off?" His hand drifted to rest on the butt of his weapon. "How about we find out how fast you fold when the cuffs come out?" Reed's expression didn't change. He reached into his back pocket with insulting calm, producing a leather badge holder. He flipped it open, holding it steady. Sterling barely glanced at the shield before waving it away. "Cute. You could buy those online for $30. I'm not falling for it, boy." That word, boy, hung in the air like poison. A stock boy stacking cereal boxes stopped cold. A mother clutched her daughter's hand tighter. And from the corner of his eye, Sterling caught the unmistakable red glow of a phone recording. Reed's voice dropped lower, carrying the weight of steel. "You need to walk away. Right now. You are about to compromise 6 months of surveillance." Sterling smirked, feeding on the tension. "Then maybe next time you and your little play pretend task force should notify Lakeside County before posting up next to the lettuce." The air shifted before Reed could reply. A woman entered the space like a knife through silk. She was short, sharp-eyed, plain clothes blending with the shoppers, but her presence hit like authority incarnate. "Step back, officer." Her badge was out before Sterling could form a response. "Special Agent Vasquez, DEA. That's my partner. And thanks to your chest-beating performance, our suspect is gone." Sterling blinked, thrown but unwilling to yield. 2 fake badges? This is rich. You think I'm stupid enough to believe 2 feds are hanging around next to organic vegetables? "No," Vasquez replied coldly. "We thought you were professional enough not to blow an operation because you couldn't stand seeing a black man minding his business." The words landed like a gut punch. Silence cracked through the store, broken only by the sound of a teenager snickering from behind his phone camera. Sterling's face burned hot, but his pride pushed him forward. "I acted on what I saw." He was suspicious. "And is that your protocol?" Vasquez snapped back. "Or just the one you reserve for black men?" The question hung heavy, damning. Sterling's tongue felt thick in his mouth. Every angle of the store was a smartphone now, lenses trained, catching every flicker of his face. The audience wasn't just watching anymore. They were recording the spectacle of a cop unraveling. Reed stepped forward, his tone colder than before. "We were tracking Dante Garza. He runs a meth distribution line covering half this state. He was scheduled to make a drop here. Now, he's gone. Because you decided ego mattered more than discretion." The humiliation struck like a hammer. Sterling's jaw clenched. He tried to salvage it, voice cracking. "You roll into my county, don't bother with a heads up, and I'm the problem?" Reed's gaze was merciless. "You became the problem when you chose confrontation over observation. You didn't assess. You didn't investigate. You came here looking for a fight." The last word echoed, sharp and brutal. From the front of the store, The manager's voice trembled into the intercom. Security to aisle 3. Sterling's hand twitched at his side. Shoppers whispered. Phones kept rolling. And somewhere in the silence, the thought pierced him like ice. His career wasn't slipping. It was collapsing. But he wasn't ready to back down. Not yet. That's called being proactive, Sterling snapped, his voice cracking. No. Agent Vasquez countered, arms crossed. That's dereliction of duty. And here, it's obstruction of a federal investigation. Nearby shoppers froze. Sterling's humiliation was complete. He fumbled for his notepad, desperate for control. Name again. Special Agent Silas Reed, Denver Field Office, Reed said evenly. Supervisor, Duty Director Moretti. Sterling scribbled furiously. And I'm Special Agent Elena Vasquez, she added. Spell it correctly. The inquiry will require it. The word made Sterling flinch. Is that a threat? No, Vasquez replied, eyes flicking to the phone's recording. It's a fact. Reed stepped closer. We were tracking Dante Garza, the chemist. 6 months of surveillance. He moves untraceable military-grade meth. We had him cornered. 5 minutes from taking him down. Sterling opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Reed's voice cut sharper. You didn't just embarrass yourself. You put poison back on streets. You handed monsters their profits. From the aisle, a kid muttered, Dude got wrecked by the milk. A nervous laugh rippled. Sterling's ears burned. Shoulders sagging, he muttered, I'm done here, and retreated. Vasquez spoke in her wrist, my command, Sentinel-1. Operation compromised. Asset gone. A voice crackled, copy. Target exited north doors. Vehicles in the wind. Reed's jaw was granite. 6 months, vaporized in seconds. Give me more Eddie, he said. Already waiting, Vasquez confirmed. Just then, a store supervisor hurried over. Agents? I'm Chloe. Your suspect was at checkout 9. I pulled all angles for you. She handed over a flash drive. Thank you, Vasquez said softly. I in their Ford Explorer. Reed's voice was bitter. Sterling wasn't here to solve a crime. He was here to make a point. On the dash screen, they watched footage. Garza, hoodie up, ghost-like. The timestamp showed it all. He saw Sterling the second he walked in, Vasquez muttered. Didn't even look at us. He knew the scene was burned and bolted before Sterling spoke. Reed's hands tightened into fists. Sterling was so locked on me. He never even saw the real threat. The comms unit chimed. Deputy Director Moretti's voice filled the cabin, cold as ice. Report. Target gone, Vasquez said flatly. Compromised by Lakeside County Officer Rex Sterling. Entire encounter on video. Excellent, Moretti replied. I'll speak with the sheriff personally. Return to base. The line cut dead. No condolences. None expected. Silence lingered. Reed finally asked, if I were a white guy in a golf shirt, you think he'd have walked over? Vasquez was firm. He wasn't hunting crime. He was hunting someone to break. And he chose you. As if summoned, Sterling reappeared, his stride gone shaky. He stopped near their SUV, eyes downcast. Listen, I didn't see the whole picture. 12 years on the force. I make calls on what I see. He froze as a black sheriff's SUV slid silently into the lot, boxing them in. Captain Morrison stepped out, fury etched in his face. Sterling. The name cracked like a whip. Sterling flinched. Morrison ignored the agents, stalking up to his officer. I just spoke with the DEA's deputy director. He seethed. She believes one of my officers just burned a 6-month, multi-state drug op to the ground. Tell me she was exaggerating. Sterling's lips moved soundlessly. He shook his head, pale and broken. Unbuckle your duty belt. Morrison ordered coldly. Place on the hood. Now. Sterling trembled, fingers fumbling. Before the agents he'd tried to humiliate, he laid down his belt, pistol, cuffs, authority, like a soldier surrendering his sword. You are on administrative leave this instant. Morrison spat. You will go home. You will not speak to anyone. And you will wait, while my office and the U.S. Attorney decide if you still have a badge or if your next stop is a federal indictment. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir, Sterling whispered. His voice was gone. His career lay shattered on the asphalt of the Bayside market lot. Reed and Vasquez said nothing. The message was written in silence. The true threat had never been the ghost in a hoodie. It was the man in uniform who couldn't see past his own bias until it destroyed everything.